Thank you, Maryland. Wow, what a great crowd. And I want to thank every single one of you tonight. Thank you so much. You know, they said the Hogan brand of politics was dead. Well, once again, we proved them wrong tonight. You know, in 2014, they said it couldn't be done here in Maryland. But with your help, we just went out and did it, pulled off the biggest surprise upset in America. And then in 2018, we beat the odds once again, and I became only the second Republican governor reelected in the entire 242-year history of the state. So thank you. You know, we've always been an underdog. They've always counted us out, but every single time together we have beaten the odds. So thank you. Tonight, I want to thank all the people of Maryland for their continued support. I want to congratulate all 6 of our primary challengers and their campaigns. And it looks like it might be a long night before they decide that other primary. But let me also congratulate County Executive Also Brooks and Congressman Trone and their campaigns. But tonight, the campaign for Maryland and America's future begins. With your help, we're going to bring our case for strong, proven, effective, and independent leadership directly to the people of Maryland all across this state, from one end of the country to one end of the state to the other. So thank you very, very much. Just 95 days ago, we launched this campaign. And I wasn't looking for a new title. I didn't need a job. But I decided to take on this challenge because I have never been more concerned about the direction of our nation. And there are times in history when we desperately need leaders to step up and put the country first. 50 years ago, a congressman from Maryland made a tough decision, and he became the first Republican to come out for the impeachment of President Nixon. He put aside party politics and his own personal considerations, and he stepped up to do the right thing for Maryland and the nation. That congressman was my dad, Larry Hogan Sr. I learned a lot about integrity and public service from him, and I have tried to live by the example he set. But today, Washington is completely broken because that kind of leadership, that kind of willingness to put country over party has become far too rare. And America is at a dangerous, critical crossroads. Most Americans are thoroughly convinced that we are hopelessly divided, that Washington is completely dysfunctional, and that our entire political system is fundamentally broken. The voices of the exhausted majority are often ignored in deference to the demands of the loudest and angriest few who seem hell-bent on tearing America apart. Enough is enough. Like you, I am completely fed up with politics as usual in Washington, where the politicians on both sides seem to be more interested in attacking each other than in actually getting anything done for the people they represent. Look, I'm willing to stand up and fight for the things that really matter, but not for status quo politics as usual, and not to perpetuate polarization and paralysis. I think you know, I don't come from the performative arts school of politics. I come from the get to work and get things done school, and I'll work with anyone who wants to do the people's business. Most Marylanders and most Americans prefer straight talk to empty rhetoric, and they think it's time for less talk and more action. That's what I did for 8 years as your governor, and it's exactly what I'll do in the United States Senate. Here in Maryland, just down the road from our nation's capital, we have already proven that there is a better path forward. While Washington ran up the debt and created crushing inflation, we balanced the budget every single year and put people first. We worked across the aisle with our Democratic legislature to cut taxes 8 years in a row by $4.7 billion. We inherited a $5.1 billion deficit and turned it into a $5.5 billion surplus, the largest in state history. And I'll take that exact same approach to the United States Senate because the American dream is slipping away for far too many. Instead of pointing fingers, blaming others, and playing politics, I'll reach across the aisle and work together to deliver real, common sense, bipartisan solutions on the issues that matter, just as I did as your governor for 8 years. I'll work to make life more affordable for hardworking Marylanders and continue our fight to rebuild America's crumbling infrastructure, starting with the Francis Scott Key Bridge. And in the Senate, I'll continue the work to ensure that every child in America has access to a great education and economic opportunity regardless of what neighborhood they happen to grow up in. And I'll work to secure the border and fix the broken immigration system. You know, this is National Police Week, and I want to once again express our gratitude to the brave men and women of law enforcement who put their lives on the line every day to keep the rest of us safe. Instead of demonizing and sabotaging these dedicated men and women, they deserve the respect and the tools they need to do their jobs. And to reverse the tide, rising violent crime, and to keep our communities safe, I will continue the fight to get guns out of the hands of criminals and to hold violent offenders accountable. Because politics should never come before public safety. And when it comes to the toughest issues facing our nation, the solutions are really not that complicated. There are common sense solutions, but neither side really seems to want to make progress. They'd rather make demands and win arguments on Twitter. And these politicians are willing to say and do anything to stop us. Over the next few months, you are going to hear a whole lot more of this political BS. And Marylanders are going to be inundated with scare tactics and false attacks. Don't let them get away with it. And let me, once again, set the record straight tonight. To the women of Maryland, you have my word that I will continue to protect your right to make your own reproductive health decisions, just like I did for 8 years when I had the honor of serving as your governor. And to my Democratic and independent friends tonight, you know me. You know my proven track record of reaching across the aisle to find common ground for the common good. You know that I'm not going to be just one more Capitol Hill Republican. You know that I have the courage to put people over politics and to put country over party. And you know that I will stand up to the current president, the former president, to the Democratic Party, or the Republican Party. And I will continue to be the same strong, independent leader that I always have been. Look, no one of us has all the answers or all the power. And let's face it, one party alone can't fix this mess. John F. Kennedy once said, sometimes party loyalty demands too much. This is one of those moments. So I'm asking you to join us in this important fight to fix the broken politics in America. If you are completely fed up with divisiveness and dysfunction in Washington and you want change, then vote for me to send a strong, independent leader who will stand up and fight to clean up the mess in Washington. If you're sick and tired of the angry politics and gridlock, and you would rather see common sense bipartisan solutions that work for all the people of Maryland, then join our cause. And if you believe that we need to stand up and safeguard the rule of law and to protect our democracy, then join together with us. If you believe that we need leaders who will stand up to both parties and put the country first, then join our fight. The Washington politicians win by perpetuating polarization. But Maryland is known as the state of middle temperament. We believe in common decency and common sense. And we know that what unites us as Marylanders and as Americans is greater than that which divides us. This is not just about the differences between the right and the left. This is about the difference between right and wrong. And this isn't just your typical fight between Democrats and Republicans. It's more important than that. This is a fight for Maryland and America's future, and that is a fight worth fighting. So I'm asking for your vote and your support, not just to serve one party, but to fix the broken politics and to fight for all Marylanders. Ladies and gentlemen, with your help, this November, we can send a loud and clear message to all the politicians in Washington that will be heard all across America. So thank you, Maryland.